let me tell you a little story. In the deep night forest, a tiny firefly fairy named Flora floated slowly between snowy branches. Her glow was soft, like pastel candlelight. The snow below looked smooth and clean, like a quiet blanket. Flora whispered.
Tonight feels so quiet and safe.
Her floating fairy light hovered near her hands. It shimmered gently, not bright, not sharp, just calm, just dreamy. Above her, the sky was deep blue, sprinkled with still stars. Around her, there was a light, mystical haze that made everything feel even softer. Flora liked nights like this, because Flora carried one warm truth inside her heart.
Magic appears when the night becomes quiet.
As she drifted past a snowy bush, Flora heard something familiar. A gentle humming moved through the trees. It was the winter song of the forest. It had the pine tree breath. It had the pond's tiny crystal notes. It had the stream's sleepy lullaby. But tonight, the winter song felt like it was missing a little ending, like a bedtime tune that needed one last cozy note to tuck everyone in. Flora tilted her head and thought,
We need a goodnight note. Just a small one. A simple one. A note that says, you can rest.
On the forest path below, a small fox named Milo walked slowly through the snow. His fur was warm orange, and his paws stepped carefully, leaving small prints behind him. Near his chest, he carried a little autumn leaf. The leaf did not shine loudly. It only glowed a little, like a tiny lantern remembering sunset. Milo looked up and saw Flora's gentle glow above him. He said,
Hello, Flora.
Flora floated down a little, staying close but not rushing. She replied,
Hello, Milo. I'm listening for a good night note to finish the winter song.
Milo blinked slowly, calm and curious. He held his leaf like it was something precious and kind. He said,
That sounds like a nice tiny task. Every day can hold a small, gentle adventure.
And the thought made his chest feel warm and steady. Flora nodded. She said,
We will go slowly. Step by step. We will only listen.
So they started together, moving through the enchanted forest path. Milo's paws went crunch, crunch, very softly in the snow. Flora drifted beside him like a small, friendly star, and her fairy light made little golden specks float around them like sleepy sparks. The night air was cold, but it felt gentle on their cheeks. Soon they reached tall pine trees with heavy snow on their branches. Now and then, a little pile of snow slipped down with a soft hush. The wind moved through the needles with a slow, gentle breath. Flora whispered.
Hear that?
Milo closed his eyes for a moment. He listened with his whole face, his whole body. He said,
The trees are humming.
Flora lifted her floating fairy light a little higher. Its glow touched the pine needles, and they shimmered as if they had tiny stars hiding inside. Milo held his autumn leaf near the branches. The leaf moved the air with a quiet little sound, shh, shh, like a soft brush on a blanket. Flora said,
That whistle can be part of the winter song. The pine breath and the leaf whistle.
They stayed there a while longer. No rush, no hurry, just listening, just breathing. Milo thought.
This feels like the forest is rocking itself.
They listened to the wind, and then to the quiet between the wind. Quiet, then a breath. Quiet, then a breath. After some time, they walked on again. Step by step, Flora's glow slid across the snow like warm light on a pillow. Milo's footprints made a gentle path behind them, and the night seemed happy to follow along. Soon they reached a small frozen pond. The ice was smooth like a quiet mirror. Snow rested along the edges in soft mounds, like little white pillows. Flora floated over the ice, and her glow made tiny sparkles appear. She whispered,
Hello, sleepy pond. Do you have a sound for our winter song?
Milo sat at the edge, tail wrapped around his paws. He listened so carefully that even his whiskers seemed quiet. For a moment, there was only stillness. Then the ice made a tiny sound. Tick. Not sharp, not scary, just the ice settling gently, like a sleepy stretch. Milo nodded slowly. He said,
That is a very gentle note.
Flora smiled. She said,
Yes, a little crystal note.
They waited again. Tick, and then quiet. Tick, and then quiet. Milo thought.
It's like the pond is whispering in tiny bell sounds.
Flora tucked that pond note into her heart, as if she was saving it in a small, safe pocket. Then she and Milo moved on, leaving the pond to rest in peace. A little farther along, they heard another sound, a stream that had not fully frozen. Thin ice hugged the edges, but the middle still moved, softly, slowly. The water whispered over small stones. It sounded like a lullaby that knew exactly how to be gentle. Milo leaned closer and said,
The stream is singing.
Flora replied.
Yes, the winter song is here, all around us.
They sat beside the stream for a long, calm moment. Flora's glow made nearby plants look enchanted, with soft teal and light green hints hidden in the leaves. The mist curled low, like a sleepy scarf. Milo's eyelids drooped a little. He whispered.
The forest is doing the work for us.
Flora nodded and said,
Yes, we only listen.
They listened to the stream, and then to the quiet. Quiet. Then a whisper of water. Quiet. Then a tiny breeze through a bush. Milo thought.
My body feels heavier in a good way.
As they rested there, Flora remembered her gentle friend Theo the bear. Theo lived in a cozy den with soft moss on the floor, smooth stones tucked into corners, and old tree roots like friendly arms along the walls. Near the entrance of Theo's den, a tiny campfire always glowed low and safe. It did not crackle loudly. It simply offered warm orange light and soft shadows that didn't move much. Flora thought.
Theo hums the winter song to keep everyone feeling safe. If we find the goodnight note, Theo can add it to his humming.
Flora said softly.
If we find the goodnight note, Theo can add it to the winter song. Then the little animals will feel even cozier.
Milo nodded. He said.
That would be lovely.
Then Milo thought.
It feels good to help in a quiet way.
When they were ready, they followed the path up a gentle hill. The snow was deeper, so Milo's steps became even slower. He did not mind. Slow felt nice. At the top, the wind moved over the hill with a long, steady sound. Not loud, not sharp, like a giant, sleepy purr in the air. Milo lifted his nose and said,
The wind is making a long note.
Flora closed her eyes. She whispered.
This is the winter song holding everything together.
They sat together on the hilltop, close and calm. Below them, the pines breathed. Far away, the pond offered its tiny tick. The stream murmured. The hill wind hummed. Everything fit together like a warm quilt. Flora listened, and she felt the song almost complete. But she still waited for the last goodnight note. Then something small happened, something very gentle. A single snowflake drifted down, slowly, slowly. It landed right on Milo's autumn leaf. The leaf answered with the tiniest sound, plim, like a sleepy sparkle kissing the air. Milo blinked and whispered.
Did you hear that?
Flora's face softened with wonder. She whispered back.
Yes, that's it.
Then Flora thought,
The winter song needed one tiny warm memory.
and she added in her mind,
A note that says, You are safe, you are loved, and you can rest.
Milo held the leaf closer, careful and gentle. He murmured.
It feels like a blanket for the heart.
Another snowflake fell, landing on the leaf again. Plim. And then another. Plim. Each plim was quiet and kind, like the forest itself was saying goodnight. Flora said,
Let us remember that sound. Not too loud. Not too many times. Just enough.
Milo nodded and thought.
Just enough is perfect.
So, Flora began with a tiny, clear note, like a faraway star. Milo joined with a warm, low hum from his chest. The wind carried their sound across the hill. The pine trees added their slow-breathing hush. The pond offered its crystal tick. The stream wrapped it all in a murmuring lullaby. And at the end, Milo's leaf gave the softest plim. Plim, then quiet. Plim, then quiet. The winter song was complete. Down below, little creatures rested in cozy places. A mouse under a root let its tiny shoulders relax. A rabbit in a burrow breathed slower. A bird on a branch tucked its beak into warm feathers. No one had to do anything. They only felt the song, like a gentle hug around their whole bodies. Flora listened and thought.
The forest is ready to sleep.
Milo nodded and said.
The forest is falling asleep.
After a long, quiet moment, Flora floated a little lower. She whispered.
Let us take this goodnight note to Theo's den. We will not wake him. We will only let the song drift to him.
Milo agreed, and they started down the hill. Step by step. Soft paw prints. Slow wing beats. Flora and Milo hummed the winter song under their breath. At the end of each humming, Milo let the leaf sing. Plim. Plim, like a tiny door closing softly. Plim, like a blanket being tucked in. Soon they reached the mossy clearing where Theo's den rested. The entrance was framed by stones and gentle roots. Inside, the tiny campfire glowed low and steady, orange and safe. Flora hovered near the entrance. Milo sat beside a smooth rock, tail curled around him. They could hear Theo's slow breathing deeper inside. In and out. In and out. Theo was asleep, warm and snug in the soft moss. Flora whispered.
Perfect. He is resting.
Then Flora thought.
This is the best time to share a lullaby.
Flora lifted her floating fairy light just a little. Its glow painted gentle shadows on the stones. Milo held his autumn leaf close to his heart. Together, they hummed the winter song once, only once, very softly. Pine breath. Pond tick. Stream murmur. Hill wind hum. And then the leaf's tiny plim. The sound slid into the den like warm air. Theo did not wake. But Theo's chest rose with a happy sigh, and from somewhere deep inside his dream, a low, sleepy hum answered back. Flora listened, and her eyes softened. She thought.
He hears it in his dream.
Milo's eyelids drooped. He whispered.
We did it.
Flora whispered.
Yes, the winter song has its goodnight note now.
Milo thought.
It was such a small task, and it feels so big and cozy.
They both listened for a moment. Theo's dream hum faded back into quiet breathing. The campfire stayed low and safe. Outside, snow fell slowly, slowly. Flora whispered.
Good night, Theo.
Milo whispered.
Good night, forest.
Milo stood up carefully. He said.
I will curl up in my little fox nest. My leaf can rest too.
Flora nodded. She said.
I will rest near the warm stones here. My fairy light will watch softly like a tiny star.
Milo padded away along the path, step by step. His autumn leaf glowed smaller and smaller, like sunset going to sleep. When Milo reached his cozy spot under a pine root, the ground was soft with dry grass. He turned around once, twice, 3 times, very gently. Then he curled into a warm foxball. He placed the autumn leaf beside his nose. The leaf gave one last tiny glow. Milo whispered.
I am safe.
Then Milo thought.
I am warm.
And then he thought, even softer.
I am loved.
His breathing slowed. In and out. In and out. His paws felt heavy. His tail felt warm. And Milo fell asleep, calm and peaceful. Back at Theo's den, Flora floated down onto a smooth stone near the warm campfire glow. Her wings folded around her like a tiny cape. She set her floating fairy light in front of her hands. It hovered quietly, a soft pastel yellow moonlit in the dark. Flora listened. The forest was almost silent now. Only the tiniest hush of snow. Only Theo's slow breathing. Only the memory of the winter song, resting in the air like a cozy scarf. Flora felt that familiar truth in her heart again.
Magic appears when the night becomes quiet.
Her glow dimmed a little. Then a little more. Flora's eyes grew heavy, like 2 warm little stones. She thought.
Everything is okay. The song is complete. Now we can rest.
Inside the den, Theo stayed curled on the soft moss. His big paws were still. His face was peaceful. He dreamed of pine trees breathing and a leaf going plim at the end of a song. Near the entrance, Flora's fairy light became smaller, softer, gentler. In and out. Deeper and deeper into rest. So sleepy and so safe. Outside, the winter forest rested. Inside, everything was calm. Everything was warm. Everything was fine. Flora's breathing became slow and quiet. Theo's breathing stayed slow and quiet. The winter song rested too. The story is over, everything is fine, and now you can rest and sleep.